Practical geometry. In practical geometry, the horizontal circle or small circle is the latitude, while the vertical lines on the circle is the longitude. The great circle is the circle at the middle of the circle on the horizontal, while the equator is at the middle of the or the center of the circle. Then we have the northwest, or we start from southeast, southwest, northeast, northwest. That means we have the east, west, north, and south, the four cardinal points of the Cartesian, or the Cartesian coordinates. For example, if A is in the location of, in parentheses, latitude 60 degrees north and longitude 48 degrees west, then we will measure out the latitude from the equator on the, we now measure 60 degrees using our protractor on the equator along the vertical axis. Then you now draw up where you now go to the small circle and measure the angle of the longitude, which is 48 degrees west on the small circle. We now mark the point, that is the location of the position of the point A. Another example, if B is located in parentheses latitude 28 degrees south and longitude 16 degrees east, then we use our protractor to measure out 28 degrees southeast, using locating starting from the equator on the vertical axis. Then we now draw a straight line. Then on the small circle, we look for the angle 16 degrees east. Then we mark the point. That's the location of the point B. Now, another example, if Q is located in parentheses latitude 0 degrees and longitude 15 degrees west, then on the geometry of the circle, we now, along the equator is our latitude 0 degrees, since it doesn't have any angle. Then on the great circle, we locate 15 degrees west and mark our point. That's the location of the position of point Q. A is located at the point, in parentheses, 65 degrees north and 48 degrees west, while B is located at a position of, in parentheses, 65 degrees north and 18 degrees west. Since two of them are having the same 65 degree north, at the same point of 65 north, having the same latitude of 65 north, then we use our protractor to measure out 65 degrees on the circle of geometry. Then we now have 65 degrees. We draw a straight line. Then for A, we now, on the small circle, we locate the angle 48 degrees west. We mark our point. For B, we locate the point on the small circle 18 degrees west. Mark the point. That is the practical geometry of the circle, of the location of those points. Example, if point Q is located at the position of 65 degrees north and 48 degrees west, and T is located at the position of 65 degrees north and 18 degrees west, then on the circle geometry, we now locate, since the two are in the same longitude, but having different longitude. They have the same latitude but different longitude. We now use our protractor for point Q. We measure out 45 degrees on the great circle from the equator, and we draw our straight line. Since the point, the small circle, the angle is 48 degrees west, we now mark the point. This is the location of points of Q. Then for T, since we have latitude 65 degrees north, we use our protractor to measure out 65 degrees from the equator. Then we draw a straight line. We are now on the small circle. We locate the point 18 degrees east. We now mark the point. That's the location of point T. Now let's look at the location of R in parentheses, latitude 72 degrees south and longitude 50 degrees east. Then for S, we have latitude 21 degrees south and longitude 50 degrees east. On the circle geometry, we now for R, we measure out 72 degrees from the equator on the gray circle using our protractor. Since 72 is located south, it now be below the circle. Then we now draw it on a straight line. Since on the longitude it is 50 degrees of east, we mark a point. That's the location of point R on the. Now for the X, for the location of point S, we use our protractor since it is also on the same south, which is under the circle. Or we now use our protractor to measure out 21 degrees from the equator on the gray circle. Then draw a straight line to touch the longitudinal lines of the gray circle of the longitude, which is on 50 degrees east. That's the location of point X. The location of the position Y is latitude 60 degrees south and longitude 14 degrees west, and the location of position H is in parentheses latitude 60 degrees north and 14 degrees west. You see, they have different Cartesian coordinates, that is south and north for the latitude and east and west for the longitude. Therefore, for the Y, we now use our protractor to measure out 60 degrees on the equator and draw the straight line. On the small circle, we now locate the point 14 degrees of east. We mark east. Since it is south, the angle is at the lower part of the circle. Is pointing the lower part of the circle, while the one H 60 measure out 60 degrees north on the equator on the gray circle, along the gray circle. Then we draw a straight line upward since it is 14 degrees west. This on the small circle we locate 14 degrees west.